Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch. The Utah desert stretched under a sky painted with streaks of dying light, its ridges and mesas holding secrets older than memory. Blind Frog Ranch had always been a landscape of whispers, rumors of buried Aztec gold, strange radiation spikes, and caverns where the rock itself seemed to hum with an alien cadence. But when the quantum scanners arrived, brought in by experts seeking to see beneath the skin of the mountain, the whispers turned into something far more terrifying. For decades, the land had defied explanation. Compasses spun wildly in certain pockets of soil. Horses refused to step near shaded ravines. Explorers spoke of sudden chills sweeping across their skin in the heat of midday, as if unseen eyes tracked their movements. Yet no conventional technology had ever provided answers. The geologists believed it to be mineral anomalies. Treasure hunters clung to tales of hidden vaults. Still, all those theories crumbled when the first scan was complete. Quantum scanning revelation. Unlike ground-penetrating radar or seismic vibration tests, the quantum scanner did not measure simple density. It mapped energy fields at the subatomic level, capturing signatures of resonance invisible to the human eye. The team expected to see ordinary voids, cavern structures, and perhaps unusual metallic concentrations. Instead, what emerged on the monitor left them silent. In the heart of the mountain, beneath jagged layers of sandstone, appeared a swelling void, an energy vortex that defied natural categorization. Data streamed across the screen, gravitational flux, distortions in time signatures, anomalous pulls suggesting negative mass. At the core, the readings mirrored those of theoretical micro-black holes, objects predicted by physics but never recorded in such a terrestrial context. The mountain was no ordinary geological feature. It was a prison for something vast, ancient, and unstable. The mountain's pulse after the scan, the ground itself seemed to acknowledge the revelation. Subtle tremors rippled through the valley, not like earthquakes, but like the rhythm of a slow, deliberate heartbeat. At night, shadows deepened unnaturally, and the stars overhead flickered as though their light bent around an unseen force anchored below. Crew documented magnetic surges strong enough to shut down drones and wipe clean recording devices. Cameras captured streaks of light darting between canyon walls, plasma discharges, perhaps, or manifestations of energy bleeding into visible spectrum. In certain spots near the mountain's base, the air thickened, vibrating against human bones as though reality itself strained against pressure. No one wanted to admit it aloud, but the conclusion pressed itself upon them. The mountain contained a collapsed star's fragment, a tethered singularity leaking its influence into the desert. Legends revisited the local Ute and Navajo stories, long dismissed by prospectors, suddenly took on new meaning. Elders had spoken of a hole in the sky buried in the earth, a forbidden zone where spirits of the underworld ascended through cracks in stone. Warriors centuries ago had refused to camp near the ridges, saying that sleeping there pulled dreams into darkness. Now the scientific team saw how oral myth might have been an encoded warning, passed down to keep the curious away from something no tribe dared disturb. Treasure hunters once believed Aztec expeditions had carried gold to Blind Frog Ranch, hiding it deep within cavern vaults. But perhaps what those explorers really found was not treasure, but the energy vortex itself, and their legends of eternal fire were metaphors for gravitational distortion and light-swallowing voids. The mountain had lured seekers for centuries, promising riches, yet none who chased its secrets ever truly understood the danger buried beneath their feet. Disturbances and unexplained phenomena. The days passed, the black hole's influence grew less subtle. Animals vanished. Coyotes were heard howling endlessly, circling the foothills, but never crossing into the forbidden zone. Metallic objects left overnight near the mountain showed warping, as though stretched microscopically by tidal forces. A barrel of water stored for testing began rotating on its own axis, pulled by forces invisible to the eye. Time anomalies became impossible to ignore. Watches lost synchronization. Hours slipped by in moments, while other stretches dragged into sluggish eternity. A crew member who entered a cavern near the mountain claimed to have been inside for less than 20 minutes, yet when he emerged, 4 hours had passed. His skin carried burns like exposure to radiation, though no conventional Geiger counter detected anything. The quantum scan had not only revealed the vortex, it had awakened it. Theories of origin experts debated furiously. Some suggested that a fragment of a black hole had been captured during Earth's violent formation, encased in mantle rock as the planet cooled. Others believed it was artificial, an ancient experiment, perhaps from civilizations advanced beyond comprehension, or even a containment chamber built by unknown intelligence. Astrophysicists reviewing the data pointed to gravitational waves faintly echoing from the mountain, ripples that should only occur in the far reaches of deep space. The possibility that Blind Frog Ranch sat atop a wormhole, one end buried beneath Utah soil, the other opening to a distant quadrant of the universe, could not be ignored. Whatever its origin, the mountain no longer felt like stone. It felt alive, a shell wrapped around a heart of collapsed infinity. Human reaction fear gripped the team, yet fascination bound them tighter to the ranch. Each night they gathered at their makeshift camp, staring at the looming silhouette of the mountain as it blocked the starlight. Some dreamed of unlocking limitless energy, of bending spacetime into pathways for exploration. Others dreamed of catastrophe, the desert ripped open, the planet consumed by the singularity's hunger. Geologist recorded in his journal that he could hear whispers while near the quantum equipment, not from any human voice, but from vibrations in his skull. The words made no sense in language, yet conveyed an ancient plea. Do not awaken what is chained. Another engineer developed nosebleeds every time he stepped within 100 yards of the scanning site, as though his body resisted the gravity's distortion. Even so, no one left. Curiosity outweighed terror, and the lure of discovery was stronger than the primal instinct to flee. The cavern expedition, compelled by readings pointing to a tunnel system aligned directly with the vortex, the team organized a descent. Equipped with reinforced suits and advanced instruments, they entered the cavern beneath the mountain. The passage narrowed, walls slick with mineral deposits that glowed faintly blue without light. Every step deeper brought a hum that rattled their bones, until the sound transformed into vibration coursing through flesh. At the cavern's end lay a vast chamber unlike any natural formation. The ceiling was a dome etched with patterns of geometry that defied explanation, triangles folding into themselves, spirals infinite in their recursion. At the center hovered nothingness, a sphere of absolute black, suspended in midair, devouring the weak light from their lamps. Around it, matter bent, pebbles rolling uphill toward the void before vanishing silently into its surface. This was the heart of Blind Frog Ranch. The black hole was not buried. It was displayed, held in a chamber, as though placed deliberately. Implications to the chamber's architecture suggested intent. Perhaps the vortex had been discovered millennia ago, contained by forces long gone. Or perhaps the builders had harnessed it, drawing energy to power civilizations now erased from history. Either way, the message was clear. The mountain was no accident. It was a vault, yet containment showed cracks. The black sphere pulsed, growing fractionally with each cycle, its energy bleeding into the surrounding rock. Instruments registered escalating gravitational flux, predicting instability within decades, perhaps years. If left unchecked, the singularity could rupture its prison, feeding on the mountain, then the desert, then the earth itself. The silence of the desert above ground. The desert grew eerily quiet. Wind died near the mountain's base. Birds vanished entirely. The team found petrified frogs near dried pools, their bodies distorted as though frozen mid-leap, bones stretched unnaturally. A local rancher, visiting out of curiosity, refused to approach beyond a certain line in the sand, claiming he felt death itself pressing against him. The quantum scanner continued to hum, mapping shifts in the vortex's resonance, but each new reading only deepened dread. If this was indeed black hole energy, humanity stood not at the edge of a treasure discovery, but at the brink of cosmic catastrophe. Closing thoughts. Blind Frog Ranch had always carried its mysteries, but now its truth emerged darker and more profound than anyone imagined. Beneath the mountain's stoic face lay a wound in the universe, a singularity chained by forgotten hands or blind geology. Its pulse resonated through stone and sky, bending time, warping space, and luring the curious with promises of answers humanity was not prepared to confront. The team knew they should leave, abandon the site, and let silence reclaim the valley. Yet the allure of understanding a black hole beneath Earth's crust was irresistible. Knowledge is both gift and curse, and at Blind Frog Ranch, the boundary blurred.